We are live.
Thank you, Sam. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Board of Regents meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask Secretary Buffkin to please call the roll.
Good morning and thank you, Mr. Chair. Chair Marty Sway.
Present.
Vice Chair Juanita James.
Present.
Regent Richard Balducci.
Here.
Regent Ira Bloom.
Present.
Regent Dell Cummings.
Present.
Regent Sophia Jappanen.
Present.
Regent Richard Porth.
Present.
Regent Ari Santiago.
Present.
Regent Don Williams.
Present.
Regent Elise Wright.
Here.
Regent Ted Yang is absent. Regent Dakota Lawson.
Here.
Regent Tyler Yee.
Here.
Regent Brendan Cunningham. Regent Kalina Sisenker. Absence noted for both. Commissioner Bartolomeo.
Here.
Commissioner Giutani. Commissioner O'Keefe. Commissioner Russell Tucker. Chief Workforce Officer Kelly Marie Vallières.
She'll be late. She's expected.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Undersecretary Charlene Casamento.
Present.
Interim Chancellor John Maduco.
Present.
President Zolma Toro.
Here.
President Ed Klonowski.
Here.
President Karim Ismaili.
Present remotely.
Interim President Sandra Bulmer.
Here.
President Jesse Bernal.
Here.
Interim President Christina Royal.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Secretary Buffkin. At this time, I would like, as a point of privilege, to ask Southern Connecticut State University President Sandra Bulmer to start off our meeting with a brief introduction and an update, and thanks for hosting us. This is terrific.
Thank you, Marty. Good morning. I welcome our Board of Regents, our system office colleagues, my presidential friends, our Southern community, and all of our guests to Southern Connecticut State University and to the vibrant and thriving city of New Haven. If you see smiles on our faces, it's because our students have returned to our campus to start another semester filled with possibilities and promise. We are so proud to be the public university for the greater New Haven region and a critical workforce engine for our state. Each and every day, our dedicated faculty, staff, and administrators ensure that a public education does not mean a diminished education. On the contrary, in many cases, we have established levels of excellence across our colleges, schools, and programs that place us above our private university peers. As we know, across all of our CSCU institutions, a majority of students will live and work in our state following graduation. So we take seriously our role in preparing future community members to ensure that our neighborhoods continue to thrive. At Southern, we have leaned into the workforce needs of our region by co-creating with our business, governmental, and nonprofit partners the necessary degree programs, non-credit programs, and experiences that are necessary for our students to have opportunities and careers that allow our region to thrive. If a prospective student wants to pursue a career in this region of the state, here at Southern and with our local CT State Community College partners, they will find the knowledge, skills, networks, and experiences necessary to achieve that goal. As we gather today, I'm proud to share a few specific examples of our achievement with academic excellence and workforce preparation. This is always risky for a president or any leader to do because you can't possibly call out everyone. So I apologize in advance for all the people who are doing excellent work that we didn't have time to feature today. First, I want to just call attention to our R2 status. As we have shared previously, during the past year, Southern earned a Research 2 Carnegie classification for institutions of higher education. We are the state's first and only R2, designated university and one of only 139 nationwide. UConn and Yale are Research 1 institutions, but Research 2 institutions are uniquely positioned to train the research workforce of our state. We adapt our programs to the needs of employers, and both the Research 1s and Research 2s are necessary for a successful ecosystem. And I want to also acknowledge Central Connecticut State University for their incredible accomplishments in research as well. It's a system that is thriving and contributing to the research of this community. During the past year, there's been a great deal of turmoil in research funding. So you might be wondering, ooh, was this a good choice for us to go down this track? Well, I have good news. Southern continues to secure resources, recently receiving a $400,000 grant from the National Science Foundation to support the university's efforts to grow academic industry partnerships, boost research capacity, and foster workforce development across Connecticut and the region. Now for business. Southern School of Business secured a prestigious AACSB accreditation in 2023, placing them in an elite group with only 7.5% of all business schools worldwide. But since that achievement, the school has launched many new creative initiatives, academic and platforms of excellence, achieved an unprecedented 35% growth in enrollment revenue and 40% growth in the MBA enrollment. Also, they've generated nearly $2 million in external funding. Our College of Education. As you know, Southern has a long history of providing a pipeline of outstanding pre-K through 12 programs and preparing educators in our state. This year, we secured a multi-million-dollar collaboration with Yale University, New Haven Public Schools, and New Haven Promise to train a diverse cohort of high-quality educators to offset the city's teaching shortage. In science and STEM disciplines, our CSCU Center for Nanotechnology located at Southern became the CSCU Center for Quantum and Nanotechnology. And this new name and expanded mission reflects the state's increasing investment in quantum technologies and highlights the center as a leader in advancing research and education. The center will serve as Connecticut's hub for the quantum workforce development. And Southern is continuing transformative initiatives such as BioPath and BioCity, which connect students directly to Connecticut's thriving biotech sector at 100 and 101 College Street. These efforts have contributed to New Haven becoming the second largest biotech cluster in New England. Health and Human Services, a place I know well from the past 11 years serving as dean. I'm so proud to share that our School of Nursing, with the support of a $4.8 million partnership investment from Yale New Haven Health System, has tripled their enrollment, increased student diversity from 23% to 50%. And this year will achieve its goal of increasing graduation of BSN prepared professionals from 100 a year to 200 a year. We have also dramatically scaled our undergraduate and graduate social work programs in response to the mental health needs of our state. For non-credit programs, we know that there are changing funding opportunities at the federal level, and we're prepared. We are not only focused on degree programs, we are also growing our non-credit professional development and stackable credential offerings. Our Office of Workforce and Lifelong Learning, or OWL, received an award for exemplary programming and expands access for learners and demonstrates regional impact. There are many accomplishments that I could share with you today, but you have other business to conduct. So I will conclude my remarks with an expression of sincere gratitude for the time that you volunteer in service to our institution, to our employees, and to our students. I especially thank you for your efforts to ensure sufficient, consistent, and sustained state funding to keep public colleges affordable and high quality for our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bulmer. And thanks to everyone at Southern who's contributed to those outcomes. The board very much appreciates that. At this time, may I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries and the agenda is adopted. Dr. Maduko, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair Gray, Vice Chair James, Regents, colleagues, and friends. As we begin the new semester and welcome back our students to our campuses statewide, I really want to express my and our sincere appreciation to our faculty, staff, and administrators for their dedication, contributions, and commitment over the past term. Your commitment to our students, to one another, to our mission for public higher education here in Connecticut continues to strengthen not only our system, but the communities that we serve. The Charter Oak Presidential Search. I want to announce that over the summer we announced that President Klonowski will be retiring in June of this year after serving as the leader of Charter Oak State College, Connecticut's only public online college for the past 18 years. President Klonowski began his tenure at Charter Oak State College in 1997 as the institution's first director of technology and was appointed president in 2008. Under his leadership, Charter Oak grew from 1 academic major to 21 majors and launched its first of 4 graduate programs, significantly expanding access and opportunity for adult learners across our state. We are deeply grateful to President Klonowski for his decades of leadership, dedication, and unwavering commitment to advancing student success. This semester, we will launch a search for the next president of Charter Oak State College, who will build upon President Klonowski's legacy while positioning the institution for future growth, innovation, impact, and greater collaboration with our other 5 institutions. President Karim Ismaili has agreed to serve as chair of the search committee. I want to thank him for his service. In the upcoming weeks, we will announce and share details of the search process in terms of its structure, in terms of the dates and timeline to ensure that transparency is at the core of this process. The legislative session and our priorities. So our top priorities for the 2026 legislative session include securing additional capital funding and furthering strengthening relationships with key stakeholders across the state government and higher education. These include the Office of the Governor, the Connecticut General Assembly, the Legislative Caucus and committee leaders, the State Department of Education, the Office of the State Comptroller, the Office of Workforce Strategy, and the Senate bodies of each of our college and universities. Ahead of the legislative session, the System Office and I will continue to proactively engage with the union leaders and institutional leaders and Senate bodies and the Faculty Advisory Committee to ensure alignment around shared priorities. It is significant for all of us to recognize that at both the federal and state level, there exists tremendous pressures, right? And that's adding pressure to our elected officials. So we need to be mindful and sensitive to that. Additionally, we are developing an 18-month roadmap that will set strategic directions for both the upcoming legislative session, but also the biennial legislative session of 2027. This long-term vision will articulate future investments across student support, capital, infrastructure, system-wide initiatives that support CSU's roles as Connecticut's primary talent engine. We recognize that long-term success requires building a strong foundation now while planning beyond a single legislative session. Input from both internal and external stakeholders will be essential to shaping this roadmap, and those conversations are already underway. We will continue to prioritize discussions around state support for high-demand, high-impact programs, especially in sectors of healthcare to education to manufacturing and beyond, to ensuring that we're meeting the needs of Connecticut's workforce and our communities. Looking ahead, the System Office will continue to be proactive and collaborative when supporting our colleges and universities. Our role is to enable and empower and serve our institutional leaders, our employees, and our students. And we remain focused on reimagining the role of the System Office so it functions as a resource hub, advances partnerships, scales opportunities, manages data effectively, and advocates on behalf of our institutions and the learners we serve. The System Office is also developing a standard system operations calendar to capture and share key deadlines, milestones, reporting obligations, the Board of Regents and committee meetings across the system because we have nothing to hide. Also, our HR1 committee will continue to provide guidance related to the workforce development policy at the federal level, Pell Grant implementation to ensure that our colleges and universities operate with a unified and responsive strategy. In addition, our 6 institutional presidents have been working collaboratively to develop policies, recommendations for the Finish Line Scholars Program, which is slated to launch in the fall 2026. Once finalized, these recommendations will be brought forward for consideration by our Board of Regents. Collectively, these efforts reflect CSU's continued commitment to collaboration, innovation, and student success. On behalf of the system office, our leaders, our presidents, really want to thank our students, our faculty, our staff, and all of our institutional leaders, external partners, and state government for their continued support and steadfast commitment to the mission of public higher education in Connecticut. Chair Gwen.
Thank you, Interim Chancellor Meduco. Your update is very helpful for us to understand your actions, activities, and priorities across CSCU. Well done. Today, I'm announcing the appointment of Vice Chair and Regent Juanita James to serve as the chair of the CSCU Chancellor Search. Regent James will be supported by two vice chairs, Regent Ira Bloom and Regent Dawn Williams. Regent James has distinguished herself well before her service on the BOR, but also here as a leader with great empathy, compassion, vision, and expertise. Juanita has the respect and experience to lead this process. And Juanita's experience being on the board of Lesley University and Princeton University for years gives her an acute understanding of leadership within higher ed. Juanita will be well supported by Ira and Dawn, who bring great knowledge and experience on behalf of academia and the public sector, respectively. I wanted to make sure that we have our core constituencies represented in this process. I will be meeting with the three of them soon to discuss the framework, timeline, and process for the search. We will update you after this next step is completed. At this point, I would like to turn the management of the meeting and the microphone over to Samantha Norton to manage our public comments.
Thank you, Chair Gway. We have 5 staff and faculty members who would like to give public comments today. 3 of the speakers are here in person and 2 are joining us remotely. Our first speaker is Professor Liz Keenan from Southern Connecticut State University. Professor Keenan, do you have your 3 minutes ready?
I do.
All right, you may begin.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Liz Keenan, professor in the School of Social Work. My first day at Southern was 2 weeks before 9/11. In the past 25 years, I've been proud to work at a university that provides access and academic excellence to students who call Connecticut their home and use their degrees to pay it forward in their communities. Many of our alums supervise students at internships throughout the state. Our students' eagerness to learn fuels my efforts to provide meaningful, engaging courses. When I saw barriers that transfer students experienced, I sought out university leadership positions that approved transfer articulation agreements and other curricular reforms. As coordinator of our undergraduate program, I saw advising gaps and worked on the team to design a university-wide advising model that now addresses the broad range of issues impacting our students. As co-coordinator and instructor in our doctoral program, I guide, challenge, and support doctoral students as they advance their careers. But I am just one of many faculty who are consistently stepping up with limited resources to provide academic excellence. And I'm speaking today because this way of operating is not sustainable. For the past 25 years, social work faculty have, in good faith, said yes to repeated requests to accept more students into our undergraduate and master's programs. Start an online master's program. Start an online professional practice doctoral degree. We have routinely been promised, yet not consistently given the resources necessary to support these expansions and most importantly, the learning of those students who choose to come to us. Yes, we piece things together year after year, but our competition is investing in state-of-the-art online materials and give faculty 9-credit teaching loads so they can engage in research with their students. Our reputation and our ongoing passionate labor only takes us so far. So that's why today I am respectfully asking that you continue to support Southern's faculty and our CSU system for our ability to remain competitive. I ask that you commit to decrease faculty workload in the current contract negotiations and increase the budget for pedagogical resources. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Keenan. Our second speaker is Amy Jansen, Southern Connecticut State University's business librarian. Amy, do you have your 3 minutes ready? All right, you may begin.
Morning, members of the Board of Regents. My name is Amy Jansen, and I'm an associate librarian and business librarian at Southern. I'm here today to speak about a critical issue that affects the heart of our academic institutions, the lack of pay equity and fairness for library faculty within the Connecticut State Colleges and Universities system. For too long, the work of academic librarians has been undervalued, a symptom of a broader societal tendency to devalue professions dominated by women. The stereotype of the librarian as a quiet book stamper is not only outdated, but also deeply disrespectful to the high-level intellectual and professional work that our library faculty perform every day. Our librarians are not just keepers of books, and might I add, as well as an exploding array of electronic resources and digital information. We are educators, we're researchers, we're authors, we're innovators. We teach our students critical information literacy skills. We partner with faculty on research and digital scholarship projects. We conduct our own research. We publish in peer-reviewed journals. We actively participate in shared governance and are at the forefront of the ever-changing landscape of information and technology. The current AAUP collective bargaining agreement, for all its strengths, fails to adequately address the pay inequity that library faculty face. We're expected to meet similar rigorous standards for tenure and promotion as our classroom faculty colleagues, including service to the university and creative activity. Yet our compensation does not reflect that same value of respect. This is not just a matter of fairness, it's a matter of retaining and recruiting the talented and dedicated professionals who are essential to the success of our students and faculty. We urge you, the members of the Board of Regents, to recognize the vital role that library faculty play in our academic communities. We ask you to commit to working with the AAUP to create a more equitable and fair salary structure for library faculty. We must actively dismantle the persistent narrative that devalues library faculty by framing our expertise as women's work, labor that's historically undervalued and underpaid, and instead reassert our role as essential intellectual partners. Let us instead be a model of equity and fairness and a testament to the value of all members of our academic community. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Our third speaker is Professor Joseph Fields at Southern Connecticut State University. Professor Fields, do you have your 3 minutes ready?
I do.
All right, you may begin.
Well, my name is Joe Fields. I'm in the mathematics department at Southern. I want to thank you for this opportunity. And also, I dearly want to thank you for your pro bono work in helping to guide the system. I think that's not said often enough. My remarks are, I wanted to speak broadly about the relationship between the BOR and the CSU faculty members, which I would say in the past has been dominated by a sort of management versus labor dynamic, which is really inappropriate for higher ed. I'm pleased to see that there's been some recent improvements in that area. For instance, the joint meeting with the FAC last December. So I'm an applied mathematician. I started here in 1999, and over that 27 years, I've watched working conditions get worse and morale decline. The work we do is something that we all love, right? We enjoy the the job of making our students become better citizens. But it feels like it's thankless sometimes. My own career is wrapping up. I'm within a few years of retirement, so some of these remarks are not personal. They're about what my vision for our younger colleagues is. I'm a numbers guy, so when I'm seeking to understand a problem, I look for data, and that search led me to the NCHEMS report from last year. As somebody who analyzes a lot of data, I can say there were some serious flaws in that report. It misrepresented certain things, but it certainly had data. One of the indisputable themes there was there's going to be a demographic problem. We're going to see lower enrollment for a period of time. What's quite disputable, though, is how do we best deal with that situation? I think Southern is modeling a way forward, making reputational changes to make ourselves a more attractive choice for students. The fact that Southern has obtained this Carnegie R2 designation while maintaining this crushing 4.4 teaching load is just extraordinary. It's a change in status that will have impact, and it's, I think, due to intense sacrifice on the part of faculty members. I don't know whether it's clear to the regents that my use of the adjective crushing is appropriate there, but we don't teach just 12 hours, right? I mean, when we have a 12-12 load, we're not, yes, we're in a classroom for 12 hours a week, but my workload is roughly 70 hours a week. I know I'm old and a little slow, so maybe there are people that get it done faster, but it's not sustainable. My ask of the regents would be that you shift to seeing yourselves not as our managers, not as good communicators, listeners, but as our advocates. And I see evidence that that's starting to be the case. We desperately need you to advocate for us with the legislature and the governor for more resources. We need a workload that will allow us to achieve the excellence that we need to survive in this upcoming period of scarcity. Also, another element of the NCHEMS report was the need for a statewide higher education oversight board. And I would say that's something that needs to be addressed. Hopefully the board could reach out to the trustees at UConn and try to make something happen there. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Professor Fields. Our next speaker is Virginia Metaxas with Charter Oak State College. Virginia, can you check your audio for me, please? I think you might just need to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Do you have your 3 minutes ready?
Yes, I do.
All right, you may begin.
Good morning. My name is Professor Virginia Metaxas, and I'm happy to speak with you today about my work as an instructor at Charter Oak. I recently retired from full-time teaching at Southern Connecticut State University, where I taught history and women's studies courses for nearly 30 years. I've taught numerous online courses during the past 25 years, and I have lots of experience in teaching adults because I worked with many undergraduate and graduate students at Southern, ranging from 20 to 70 or 75 years of age. Our students took the information they learned in our courses, the skills and the attitudes that they learned, to be applied in the real world as they went to work in schools, museums, and many other professional and business settings. As you can well imagine, there are many similarities between the students of Southern and the student body at Charter Oak. So it's been very easy for me to relate to their needs and to make the adjustment from one institution to another. I consider myself a lifelong learner, and I'm well aware of the needs of students who have to juggle school with family and work commitments, because I myself lived that very experience. I'm a product of New York State's public higher education system. I started out right after high school going to a local community college, SUNY Farmingdale, where I earned an associate's degree in dental hygiene. I worked in dentistry for a number of years until I returned to school as a young wife and mother with two preschool aged children. While raising my family, sorry about that. While raising my family, I finished my bachelor's degree in American Studies at SUNY Old Westbury and my MA and PhD degrees from SUNY Stony Brook in US history. So I've brought with me my life and educational experiences to Charter Oak, where I've been teaching for the past 3 years. Lately, I've gotten to know many other instructors at Charter Oak, and I'm happy to say that we share many values in common when it comes to how we work with our students. We center the students in our courses where they live so that we can improve their academic skills, bringing them to a higher level of knowledge and understanding. For example, our history department courses expose students to scholarly work in the field so that they can learn how to analyze historical events. Our long-term goals are to create an enlightened citizenry that will be engaged civically and have a strong sense of democratic literacy. History is complicated. There's no simple right or wrong answer to anything. And the students in our classes are learning to unpack complex issues so that they can use these analytical skills in their chosen field of employment, as well as their own lives as citizens of our state and our nation. The Survey U.S. history courses I teach at Charter Oak are nearly identical to those my colleagues and I teach at SESU. Students are reading primary and secondary sources, writing short answers and essays, and having discussions with their classmates to further their thinking. As instructors, we're working with them for 8 weeks on a regular basis to make sure that they're engaged and learning. We maintain a presence by participating in the class discussions and providing feedback on all their written work. And most of all, we're making sure they're not falling behind so that they're successful in completing the courses. These efforts take many, many hours a week. And I must say, it's very fulfilling work. I hope that you, the Board of Regents members, understand that by supporting the faculty at Charter Oak, you're supporting student success. After all, faculty working conditions are student learning conditions. Thank you for allowing me to speak, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia. Our last speaker is Dr. Roland Halstead with Charter Oak State College.
Good morning. I'm Professor Roland Holstead, a faculty member at Charter Oak State College with over 40 years of documented successful experience in higher education. I have a PhD in sociology from the University of Connecticut. I was a tenured professor of sociology at Springfield College, an assistant dean of continuing education at UConn, the dean of community outreach and extension services at the University of District of Columbia, and the vice president of educational enterprise at American International College. This morning, I want to speak to you about the State College faculty as a stabilizing force in our students' lives. Charter Oak State College serves a population that higher education often says it values, but does not always serve well. Working adults, caregivers, veterans, parents, and career changes. 87% of Charter Oak students are Connecticut residents. 80% are employed while pursuing their degrees. These numbers matter. They tell us that Charter Oak is not exporting talent elsewhere. It's educating the very workforce that sustains our communities and our businesses. For many Charter Oak students, life is marked by uncertainty. Job change, family responsibilities shift, health issues arise, finances fluctuate. The Charter Oak faculty provides them with something rare and deeply valuable, certainty and stability. That stability comes from a clear mission, a well-designed degree completion pathways, and dedicated, experienced faculty who understand adult learners, not as an abstract category, but as real people with real constraints. The Charter Oak faculty engages students while holding them to meaningful academic standards that lead to genuine credentials and real opportunity. It is imperative that the faculty receive fair compensation comparable to their colleagues at other state institutions. The preparation of our students is not just a personal good, it's a public good. When adult learners complete their degrees, they increase their earning potential and strengthen their family's economic security. They become more engaged citizens, more competitive employees, and more confident contributors to Connecticut's civic and economic life. Charter Oak State College does not rely on grand campuses or traditional residential models. Instead, it relies on clarity of purpose, fiscal responsibility, exceptional teaching, and a deep understanding of the students we serve. At a time when many institutions are struggling to articulate value, Charter Oak's value is clear and measurable. It provides access, stability, and opportunity. For Connecticut, Charter Oak State College is not peripheral to the system. It is essential to its promise. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Holstead. Chair Gway, that concludes the public comment portion of the meeting.
Thank you, Sam. And I'd like to thank our 5 speakers for their thoughtfulness around their positions and their perspectives. It's very helpful for the board to hear some really well thought out positions. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the December 12th special joint SAC board meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any changes or corrections or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries and the minutes for the December 12th special joint SAC board meeting are approved. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the December 12th special joint FAC board meeting. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second. Second.
Are there any changes or corrections or amendments? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. The minutes are approved. Next on the agenda is the approval of the December 18th regular BOR meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any changes, corrections, or amendments? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? This motion also carries. The minutes of December 18th BOR meeting are approved. Next, we have the approval of the consent agenda. There is one item before us. I'd like to call for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The consent agenda is approved. As we look to 2026, in terms of the BOR, the Board of Regents committees, I have reviewed all committee assignments and am making the following changes while maintaining other chair assignments. Academic and Student Affairs. Regent Ira Bloom will maintain his chair position. He has been a very steady hand in leading a very collaborative effort with our Academic and Student Affairs Committee, and I'm very grateful for his service. On the Audit Committee, Regent Elise Rice has served for 10 years as chair of the Audit Committee. With all of her service to the BOR, Elise has been a great asset and a wonderful chair of the Audit Committee. Elise will be stepping away from the BOR at the close of this academic year. This gives us an opportunity to ensure quality transition. I am appointing Regent Don Williams to serve as the chair of the Audit Committee. Elise will work with our General Counsel, Karen Bufkin, Chief Compliance Officer Cameron Liston, and CFO Lloyd Blanchard to provide Regent Don Williams with a comprehensive orientation. Thanks in advance, Don. Finance and Infrastructure Committee. Regent Rich Balducci will continue to serve as the chair of the Finance Committee. Rich has been a stalwart of this committee. That's a compliment, Rich, a stalwart. And has served as a strong voice for the BOR and our students. I've particularly become fond of his voice for our students consistently. To pay homage to the importance, complexity, and scale of the Finance and Infrastructure Committee, I have appointed Regent Ari Santiago to the newly created position of Vice Chair. Ari has been a great contributor to this system and board with his energy, experience, and vision. I think this will give us greater capacity to take on the challenges that come through our Finance and Infrastructure Committee. Thanks in advance for your service, Ari. Governance and Nominations Committee. I'm pleased to report that Regent Rick Porth has been appointed the chair of the Governance and Nominations Committee. As you may remember, this committee was set up 18 months ago and led by Vice Chair and Regent Juanita James. Working with Regents Porth, Williams, and Bloom, this committee has accomplished a great deal around board governance, regent expectations, roles, and responsibilities. I look forward to Rick's leadership as the chair with his steady hand and important perspectives. Thanks in advance for your service. Human Resources and Administration Committee. Regent Sophia Jappanen will continue to successfully serve as chair. I am grateful for her wisdom and intuition. The Technology Committee, Regent Ten Yang will continue to serve as the Technology Committee Chair. As everyone knows, Ted is very tech savvy and very committed to our mission, students, and system. I thank our committee chairs for their service and for the dedication to our students. For those who are stepping aside and those who are stepping in, you get a thanks. At this point, our Academic and Student Affairs Committee report. Chair Bloom, I understand you have no report.
No report. It may be a surprise, but no report this month.
Thank you so kindly, Chair Bloom. Audit Committee, Elise Wright, I understand you have no report.
That's correct.
Thank you so kindly, Chair Wright, and thanks for in advance for helping Regent Williams take the mantle. Finance and Infrastructure Committee, Regent Richard Balducci, I understand you have no report.
No report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so kindly. Governance and Nominations Committee Chair Juanita James, I understand you do have a report.
Yes, Chair Gway, I have a report, but no action items.
You're on, you got to bring it closer.
The Governance and Nominations Committee held a special meeting on January 12th, 2026. The committee discussed a number of topics as follow-up to our work on the board roles and responsibilities, including our role in assisting appointing authorities in their work to fill vacancies on the Board of Regents. We discussed providing information about the work of the board, goals, and recommending candidates and engaging directly with those making board appointments through an updated board information summary or matrix. The committee also discussed the areas covered by our board committees, and no recommendations for new areas were identified. The committee is looking at the role of a board executive committee or other models for addressing urgent or exigent issues that occur between board meetings to ensure that we can respond timely and appropriately. In addition, the committee is working on a recommendation for a formal line of authority succession plan for both short-term and long-term absences at the chancellor and institutional leader roles. Board member orientation and training will be scheduled, and you will be receiving a poll as to optimal dates in the next month or two. This is for both new and existing regions and will cover our statutorily mandated subjects as well as a number of other legal and operational topics. That concludes my report.
Thank you so kindly, Regent James. Human Resources and Administration Committee Chair Sophia Japinen, I understand you have no report.
No report, thank you.
Thank you so kindly. Technology Committee Chair Ted Yang is absent today, but Regent Ari Santiago will be stepping in on his behalf as a committee member on the Technology Committee. I understand you have a report and that the action item was taken care of in the consent agenda.
That's correct. A report is really centered around the action item itself. We need to present a updated IT security policy.
Okay,
Go ahead and do that now.
floor is yours.
Floor is mine. So we took on a challenge working with CIO Mundrain to really update the IT security policy. It was necessary. The policy was quite old, and we endeavored to take a look at that policy to both update it and modernize it. As is noted in the back of the policy, we used a number of resources to do it, from NIST statutes to state and federal legal guidelines, among other things, as well as a dose of common sense to try and make this thing understandable and followable. So I just wanted to thank CIO Mundrain, his team, everyone that contributed, as well as the Technology Committee for going through all this. That being said, we put forward for adoption the IT security policy as it's written in the document at the end of the agenda.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it, Ari. At this point, I'd open up to any of the institutional leaders if they want to use this time to share any information. I've done this in the past, and sometimes people take the opportunity and sometimes they don't. President Ismaili, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to share a few items. Recently, we learned from the New England Commission of Higher Education that our interim report has been accepted. The commission specifically talked about our liberal arts core and how impressed they were with that. They talked about how we've really achieved strong retention rates, and also that we've created a new division of student success and enrollment that will sort of essentially focus even more our attention on students from the moment that they learn about Easton to the moment that they graduate. We've also established a university-wide retention task force to continue this work. From the perspective of the commission, they've asked us to strengthen systems that connect assessment planning and resource allocation in advance of our comprehensive review scheduled for 2030. And the institution is working on that through a new strategic plan that we are hoping to complete by this May. I also just wanted to quickly say that we are very proud to have adopted a land acknowledgement statement recognizing the ancestral lands on which our campus stands. And finally, just a few days ago on January 10th, we had a wonderful concert in our concert hall from the Take Me to the River All-Stars, which are a New Orleans funk jazz group. It was an amazing event. We raised $16,000 for our local food bank, the Covenant Soup Kitchen, and also Sean's Cupboard, which is our food pantry on campus. So there's great things going on at Eastern. I just wanted to provide you with those 3 updates.
Thank you, President Ismaili. Well done. President Bernal.
Sure. Thank you, Chair Gway. So I just wanted to let the board know before we make a media announcement soon. Yesterday, our WCSU Foundation approved a $3.3 million gift from a former colleague, Dr. Carol Hawks, who passed away, unfortunately, at the age of 103. She was a 24-year career veteran at WestCon, longtime dean, and left her estate to the university. We'll be naming the Center for Learning and Teaching after her and applying that to an applied workforce learning initiative, which she really cared deeply about. So wanted to make sure we shared that good news and thank her family on her behalf, on our behalf. Thanks.
Nice. Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. And let us know if there's a formal event that we could participate to or to watch, right? Yeah, it's wonderful. Before I call for a motion to move to executive session, let me state that the members of the Board of Regents.
Chair Gway, I'm sorry. I think we need to have a resolution to approve that revised information security policy before we move on.
Floor is yours.
Oh, well then I guess I'll.
I think it was approved in the consent agenda.
It was, okay, so that's already approved.
Right?
Okay, my fault then. I take it all back.
Take it back.
Don't ever worry about correcting me. Okay, don't worry about that. Before I call for a motion,
This will be very brief. I just want to commend all of our institutions. President Ishmaeli, the NETGE approval is such a tremendous positive accomplishment for our system. And President Bernal, that's a very exciting vote of confidence and commitment for Western. And I am very proud to be part of this work, moving our whole set of institutions and the whole system forward. And I also deeply appreciated the comments, the public comments, which had some incredibly insightful, thoughtful, wonderful communication nuggets about what we are doing and the work that we're doing. And I too look forward to us working collaboratively with our faculty, with our system office, with all of the parts of this institution, these institutions and this system that want us to move things forward. And I particularly like the line that the faculty working conditions are also the student learning conditions. There were so many very salient points, and I appreciate very much the thoughtfulness, the commitment, the work, and I'm very excited about how we move forward together.
thank you, Regent James. I'm gonna look and listen for anybody else. Regent Porth.
One real quick acknowledgement and thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge Chancellor Maduco's CSCU Forward Building Building Toward 2026 statement. I think it was helpful for me certainly, and I hope for all of us to get a sense of where we stand now, the progress we're making, and the things we intend to do going forward. So thank you for that.
Okay, before I call a motion to move to executive session, let me state the members of the Board of Regents will move to executive session in accordance with 1-200 subsection 6E of the general statutes to discuss a preliminary draft related to board affairs and strategy and negotiations with respect to collective bargaining. No votes will be taken in executive session. The BOR will reconvene today following executive session solely for the purpose of adjourning. In addition to the committee members, the only individuals who will be in attendance in the executive session are Chancellor John Maduco, General Counsel Karen Buffkin, CFO Lloyd Blanchard, Vice Chancellor for External Affairs Adam Joseph, Assistant Vice Chancellor of Human Resources and Labor Relations Jennifer Person, Labor Counsel Chris Engler, and Director of Labor Relations Marilyn Albrecht, as these individuals have testimony or opinion that is pertinent to the matters that will be discussed. Therefore, allow me to call for a motion to move to executive session for the purpose as I have described above. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I'd also like to amend, invite System Office Danny and Nilo to join us. May I have a motion again?
So moved.
Second.
There is a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. The live streaming will now be paused.
Live streaming has stopped. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
I